regret, and the present. From telling stories, Reg grumbled as he climbed down the mountain. In defiance to past, he had left later than he should have. The terrains of the mountain were rougher than they had looked. Every ridge he grasped, every foothold he found, felt like needles draining comfort from him. This was beyond uncomfortable. It was like burning in hell, if he knew what that felt like. His hand slipped from the ridge he clung to, and he tumbled the rest of the way down. Stone poked him as he rolled down. Sharp edges cut him on his way down. Finally, he landed on the ground, grunting as his back hit a soft surface. Thank the master. That was a short distance, he thought. He lay where he landed, his back on the soft surface, his eyes facing the stretched sky. Clouds of white danced about, and an orange ball of light brightened the sky. The air was soft on his face. Too good for me, he thought, as he wrapped his unpleasant cloak around him and breathed where he lay. He was going to rest. Rest first, regain his strength, then continue past's errand. He closed his eyes. Breathe, he told himself. Present should be fun to be around. After about an hour, he opened his eyes. The clouds had vanished, leaving behind a blue expanse staring down at him. The orange ball of light had moved a little. He sat up. Deliver and never return. He stood, dusting himself. He turned, setting himself on the path to find Present. A few paces away from where he landed, he spotted a tree in the distance. A lonesome figure rested underneath its branches. That ought to be him. Reg exhaled, making his way to the tree. The grass was softer than he'd imagined it would be. The wind blew softly and gently on him. It was like he could get lost in their mist forever, forgetting all his troubles. Trees scattered far apart from each other, and no buildings came in sight as he walked. Small hills rose and faded to the flat land. The being appeared to be in his youth. He had a fine jacket over a patterned shirt. He crossed his leg, while he rested his back on the trunk of the tree. His head was squared, and he had short hair. He looked nice where he slept. "Present?" Reg called. His heart ached for disturbing the being's sleep. The being jolted awake, his face whitening, eyes almost bursting from his skull. He rose to his feet, seemingly disoriented. His voice was shaky. "Who's asking?" "I am Reg. I am to bring you to the city." "Okay." His eyes scanned the surroundings as if looking for an escape. "No need to worry. Your friend sent me, I think." "That would be?" the man said, pulling himself together. "Past," Reg said hesitantly. To mention that name tasted worse than ash. "If you want, we could get on the way now. It's a long while to the city." "Indeed I am present," the man said, straightening his jacket with trembling fingers. He tried to hide the fear in his eyes, but Reg saw past it. "Anything bothering your mind?" Reg said, motioning the way forward. Then he stepped aside for Present to step from underneath the tree. "No, nothing." Present stammered. He held the strap of his crossbag tightly. Sweat beaded his forehead despite the cooling wind. "So, how do we get there?" he asked, clearing his throat. "We walk," Reg said as he stepped beside Present. Present stopped and made a half-turn. "Do we take that path?" he asked, pointing at the mountain regions. "Oh, no," Reg answered sharply. "Too dangerous." He motioned to his bruised face, as if to indicate it got it from climbing the mountains. He wasn't going to get Present to the city so quickly. No, he was going to drag it out so long if it would help avoid his meeting with Past. "Oh," Present puffed. "Okay, then. Whatever you say." He turned back and continued his walk on the green grass. Green vista spread out all round like an ocean. Hills rolled up and slid back into the ground. Trees stood as islands, one or two groves to break the monotony of lone trees. The only sound was the blowing wind that wisped past them, which refused to dry Present's sweat. 3 hours after they set out, they hadn't come across any civilization yet, and Present's legs were starting to give out. The quietness made the journey draw out longer than Present had anticipated. He bit the lower part of his lips, occasionally looking backwards. His chest tightened whenever he heard a sound that wasn't the wind. It then eased off when he knew the sound was the ruffles of leaves. "So what is it that causes you to be here?" Reg broke the silence. Something about the path to destiny or stuff. Could not quite catch it. Present responded. "Ah, yes, destiny. The inevitable fate of all existence," Reg muttered. "Good or bad, no one runs from destiny." "And you, what causes you to be here?" Present asked. His eyes drifted here and there. Drops of water formed rapidly on his face. No response. Present looked in Reg's direction. The being's bruised face appeared to hide something, looking into the distance that he wondered if Reg heard him. "What?" "I hear you." Reg cut him. "My answer is a bit tricky." "The simplest and shortest version is okay," Present said. His tight grip on the straps of his crossbag began to ease off. Reg sighed. "Destiny as well?" he pouted. "Destiny, huh? Quite a funny thing." A brief smile passed Present's face. "It looks like your journey has been rougher than mine." "If only you know," Reg muttered. "If only I can tell." His eyes looked even more distant with the downturn of his mouth. It appeared to Present that Reg wouldn't want to talk about his journey, so he returned his focus to the way they were going. The silence of their journey returned again. Occasionally Present glanced to the right. His eyes met those mountain ranges that weren't so far off. It was dull in appearance despite the brightness of the day. It towered, almost reaching the clear sky. Its sharp ridges were visible even from the distance they were. They didn't walk away from it, but parallel to it, and its length stretched for forever in both directions. The wind blew steadily. The leaves ruffled at their will, and only Present and Reg tread the grass field in silence. Reg chuckled as if remembering something. "Remember that time when, instead of heading to Teller's party, you stayed back at the office?" He broke the silence again. Present's blood chilled as he walked. That was something he'd rather not remember much. "I remember very well." His voice, a whisper. What if it had been you Drood met? Present's heart tightened. It felt cold, though the wind blowing wasn't a chilled one. What if it was your hands Drood shook that rainy night in his office? What if it was you that had been looking out the window of his sweet office with a glass of white wine mixed with a hint of red? The pleasure and the reward, especially the finances. Present sighed. His face got flooded with sweat. What if indeed, he thought. He looked back, then looked forward. How much longer to this city? He'd have been the CEO of the company now, free from financial troubles and perhaps having a great life now. But I promised. I gave my word to be present. His life took a downward turn after that party, a party he attended for the sake of an office friend. Or that time when you had the chance to ask Stelis out. What if she said yes? Reg shook his head. What if she later said yes? Present was still on the thought of the last one, and here was this being, squeezing another painful memory from his mind. His eyes darted here and there rapidly, as Stelis's pretty face flashed across his mind, particularly that day Reg was referring to. The red gown she wore stylishly fitted her delicate body. The aura she gave, standing there alone by the table, sipping her wine. The smile that lighted her face. Maker of heavens. He wasn't meant to be where Stelis was at all that day, but against his wishes his sister had invited Stelis to her wedding, and now everything played back in his mind like it was only yesterday. Heavens, Present thought. His chest jerked, his heart wanting to burst out of his body. The path seemed blurry the further they went. "She could have been yours," Reg whispered. Stayless ever saying yes would mean the world was ending. These were memories Present didn't want to remember. Yet this Reg was peeling his heart with each one. There was silence for a while. The wind sounded like clashing trains in Present's ears. Reg's hum buzzed like an irritating fly cycling around his head that he couldn't get rid of. In fact, altogether, what if you chose never to study office accounting? What if you chose art and science instead? You always had interest in that. Reg turned towards Present. The veins in his head were about to pop. His face was covered in an ocean of sweat. Oh no, not another one. Especially not that one. Reg looked away quickly to deny himself of noticing Present's affliction. Being an arm of past doesn't suit you well, Reg thought. Present froze. A tear dropped on his face. If he had gone to Colgi Institute as always intended, perhaps his best friend would still be alive. If he had studied art and science, he might not have met Stayless, or if he did, she might have been interested in him. What if this? What if that? Present closed his eyes, his chest contracting and expanding at the numerous missed opportunities that could have made his life better. Memories he wished not to recall. You were meant to be my guide, not rip my heart out, not be a thorn. Yet that was what Reg turned out to be, a thorn that pierced his soul. You said the mountain paths were quickest, right? Present said. He wiped a tear from his eyes as he opened them. He turned. He didn't look in Reg's direction, but at the mountains. Yes, Reg answered, quick and dangerous. I think that way would serve me best. Present's voice was firm as he dashed towards the mountains. Do you have strength to climb? Reg asked, hasting after him. If I did not, wanting to be as far away from you just gave me the strength I need. Present didn't look back. He picked up his pace with the hope Reg won't be able to catch up. Well, let me at least show you the path you can take, so you don't fall to your death before you get to the city. Can't have your death on my hands. Past would never let me forget. No bother, Present said. If you say so, but still, I must get you there myself. Fine, Present yelled. Skidding to a stop, he twisted to face Reg. You can take me there on one condition, no speaking. Reg startled backwards. You'd walk all the way there in silence? Yes. Reg, or whatever your real name is. Yes, I would. And if you cannot do that, just leave me alone. Present turned back to continue his journey. I was doing fine till you showed up, he muttered. Then he saw it. Reg saw it in Present's eyes, the tormentor he was. All right, silence it is, Reg thought as he hurried to Present's side.